Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's bright and early, daily discipline, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. What do you think of my fancy new curtains? Thanks to Temu, shopping like a billionaire. Let's jump into it. Let's talk about the difference between science and faith, science and spirituality, science and religion, however you want to cut it. Now, they don't have to be against each other, although there seems to be this eternal debate. And I was at a friend's house last weekend, and a buddy of mine's wife had mentioned that, I'm not going to get into the whole conversation, I'll just tell you what she said. She mentioned for herself that she doesn't believe in God and she doesn't follow any religion. Science is her religion. Fine, I've heard people say that before, and I kind of used to feel that way before I became a religious person. I used to be a big-time atheist, and I kind of worshipped science as the answer to everything. But science can't answer everything. There are some things that science has nothing to say about. So let's get into that stuff. I mean, what's the purpose of science as opposed to the purpose of religion? So science takes things apart, right? You want to discover how things work. It takes things apart to see what's inside. Religion, conversely, puts things back together, puts the world together to see what those parts mean together. It helps you make sense of the world in a much different way. This has been studied that people who think only scientifically and that are strongly atheist, those two things together, atheist, scientific-minded people, are absolutely only using half of their brain. They're shutting off a huge part of their brain. So I think it's good to get into both. This doesn't imply, I'm not trying to say that I'm anti-science. Some people are. You got flat earthers and all kinds of people that are like just outright science deniers. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about reasons to have faith, reasons to be into spirituality or religion, because these things aren't touched by science, aren't answered by science. Science has nothing to say about love. Science doesn't describe love, doesn't know what love is, can't tell you how to love, who to love. It can't show you where love exists in your body or your mind. It doesn't know anything about love. It has nothing to say about love. Religion has everything to say about love. God is love. Science doesn't love you. God does. Another thing that science has nothing to say about is forgiveness. God forgives. Science doesn't forgive. I don't know about you, but I need some forgiveness continually, all the time, because I stray. I'm the type of servant who runs off and does bad things. I need forgiveness. Science doesn't forgive, doesn't offer that. There's no salvation in science. There's no redemption in science. Science isn't going to help you when you're stuck in prison. Science isn't going to help you when you're on the ground crying. Another thing science has nothing to say about is beauty. Science doesn't address beauty. Science doesn't know what beauty is. Science says that beauty is subjective, but you get 1,000 people marveling in silence, stunned, speechless, at the sunset or at the Grand Canyon or at a painting. Science can't explain why you're crying because of that wonderful song that you love so much. And every time you hear that one verse, it brings a tear to your eye. Science has nothing to say about that beautiful song, the melody, why it speaks to so many. That's the song of God. That's the Holy Spirit in you. Things that science denies. Religion has an answer for some of these things, and science doesn't. And the final one on my list is moral values. Science really has nothing to say about your morality, about your value system, about you being a good person, about you being a person of character, about you being made in the image of God. It's all food for thought.